Welcome, dear listener, to Spirituality in the Brain. I am Vanessa Anceloni, your host. This segment is about bridging the latest findings of neuroscience with the teachings of Spiritism. Today we're going to talk about the cell connections early in life, their stabilization, and the understanding of several diseases. Kara Gavin in the journal Brain in the News wrote, "When we are born, our brains aren't very organized. Every brain cell talks to a lot of others, nearby cells, sending and receiving signals across connections called synapses. But as we grow and learn, things get a bit more stable. The brain pathways that will serve us our whole lives start to organize, and less active and inefficient synapses shut down." But why and how does this happen? And what happens when it doesn't go normally? New research from the University of Michigan Medical School may help explain. In a new paper in Nature Neuroscience, a team of University of Michigan neuroscientists reports important findings about how brain cells called neurons keep their most active connections with other cells while letting other synapses lapse. Specifically, they show a protein named SIRP-alpha that is on the surface of various cells throughout the body. This protein appears to play a key role in the process of cementing the most active synaptic connections between brain cells. The research done in mouse brains was funded by the National Institutes of Health and several foundations. The findings boost understanding of basic brain development and may aid research on conditions like autism, schizophrenia, epilepsy, and intellectual disability, all of which have some basis in abnormal synapse function. For the brain to be really functional, we need to keep the most active and most efficient connections, says senior author Hisashi Umemura, a physician and a PhD, a research scientist professor at the University of Michigan's Molecular and Behavioral Neuroscience Institute and assistant professor of biological chemistry in the medical school. He says, during development, it's crucial to establish efficient connections and to eliminate inactive ones. We have identified a key molecular mechanism that the brain uses to stabilize and maturate the most active connections. Umemura says the new findings on this protein, SIRP-alpha, grew directly out of previous work on competition between neurons, which enables the most active ones to become part of pathways and circuits. The team suspected that there must be some sort of signal between the two cells on either side of each synapse, something that causes the most active synapses to stabilize, so they set out to find out what it was. So, dear listener, we are here talking about the latest findings in neuroscience telling us the importance of the early years in life. Everything we do is going to impact later in ourselves. And this goes hand in hand with what Allan Kardec brought to us in 1857, studying about reincarnation, and in an answer to Kardec's question, the illuminated spirits, in question 382, they say, childhood is a necessity. It's natural and corresponds to the designs of Providence. Now, in 383, Kardec asks, what is the usefulness of a spirit having to go through childhood? And the answer of the spirit was, a spirit incarnates in order to perfect itself. During childhood, it is more accessible to the impressions it receives, and which may assist the spirit in its progress. People in charge of its education should contribute towards this goal. Well, here we have the merging of the teaching of Spiritism with the latest teachings in neuroscience, telling us that we should be very attentive to what we do to our children in the very early years. And we would say, from prenatal life, we need to be very careful, because the connections in the brain are stabilizing themselves, and whatever we present as a stimulus to the child, to the baby that is not even born yet but is in the mother's womb, is going to activate certain connections in the brain that is going to remain for the rest of their life. So here we talk about the parental responsibility, educators' responsibility in what they do and share with their children. And don't think that you're doing something that your child's not going to see, because they also perceive many things that you think they are not perceiving. So we would say, pay attention to what you say, to what you do, to what you feel and think. So we conclude, parenthood, educators' moment with a child is a great opportunity for us also to educate ourselves, because the conclusion is we need to work a lot on our own selves to really be better educators. So parenthood becomes a school for parents and a school for the children themselves. A great opportunity for growth, for learning, for serving, and loving for sure. Dear listener, if you have any questions, please write to us at cardiacradio.com. We have a contact form. We'll be happy to assist you in any questions you may have. In the meantime, let us keep feeling the blessings of God and enjoying it.